Um,
It's very liberating.
Well, I got to paddleboard yesterday and it felt really good.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm sore.
Yeah. It's a good sore though, right?
Yeah.
Beautiful day out there.
I haven't been on the river, so it was nice. All right, well, we will get going. We are talking about the atomic habits. And I'll let you guys chime in, but I'm almost done with it. It's a really thick book. And the advice I got was skip over things that weren't interesting to you in a business book, right? So, and you can always come back to it if it's not making sense or if you're bored, which I tend to get bored really easy. So then I just won't read things. I'll just I have hundreds of business books. So so this is actually making me read that we're doing these every month, but the more I started reading this, I don't know if you guys can see, I have folded down and markered in this book, believe it or not. And then I
did the
actually
same
sent
thing.
Okay, I sent it to my son. So I'll let you guys start. What stood out to you? You want? Or if you're nervous, I can go.
well, I can go. I have about 30 minutes left because I audiobooked it to finish it up, but I found it really interesting. And funny you say you sent it to Tyler, because I was like, if I could get my kids to actually read this, I feel like it'd be really good, especially for my younger one who struggles to stay focused, like on his schoolwork and stuff and get it done. I'm like, man, if they could just like do these little things and create these habits, maybe I wouldn't have to be constantly screaming at them.
Send it to them in audio. Yeah.
Well, I think it's like helpful for everyone. It could be, and it was easy listening. So I do feel like they could relate, even being, kids. Well, I mean, they're 15 and 12, but
No, I'll tell you one thing we did, because we schooled our kids at home online. We actually had quotes up and we put them on the bathroom mirrors. And we actually put them on the garage door. We taped them up, which I should do again. So that as you're getting ready or walking out the bathroom door or the garage door, you would read these quotes. So now we have dog training things up, but I should put these back up. So take pictures or Google or type out some of the quotes, some of the things that you like, if you want them for the family, and tape them on their mirrors, Lisa, or put them on the garage door so the whole family is reading it. You can put it up for you, tell the kids it's for you, but they're going to read it.
yeah.
For
No,
the
that's
fridge.
a good idea. That's a really good idea.
I actually copied a couple of the pages. I've got a friend trying to quit smoking. And I copied a couple pages to text to him.
The pages on the negative, how to reverse the negative habits. That was helpful.
Yeah.
Well, just interesting how habits start just in general.
And you don't realize they're habits.
Right. It's autopilot.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I kind of cheated, guys, because I was still reading the badass book. I'm almost done with that. So I actually read the summary of the Atomic Habits, and it's only about, I think, probably about 40 pages. So I feel kind of guilty, but it was awesome.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
I still have about a little less than a quarter of the book to go too. So
Sorry, Grayson, I think, is still trying to read the More Money, Less Hustle. At least he's doing it.
Exactly.
Yeah. Emily, what stood out to you? Or you just want to listen?
No, I think for me, the biggest thing was how a lot of other people have the same habit struggles that I do. There was that one guy who said like, oh, I'm the laziest person ever, so this is what I do. I was like, oh my gosh, like everyone feels this way. It's just
Yeah.
like about making these like tiny little changes. Like what I've been doing is I've been taking my phone and charging it in the bathroom by the shower, and then I turn on the shower when I go turn my alarm off. And so like I don't oversleep. And it's like life changing. Like you just like move the things in your life around a little bit, and then you have so much
Yeah.
more success with so much less effort.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's great.
Yeah. The guy that was lazy because he loved to watch TV and Netflix, which that's become me. And so he like Jimmy rigged the Netflix so that he could ride his bike while he was doing it. And if he slowed
Yeah.
down, Netflix would shut off.
That's awesome.
And I've actually given out the overeating tip to multiple people because same thing when you're socializing, going out to eat, you're not listening to your body. So I just tend to overeat. And if you notice me, I'm so nervous when I'm in public. Everyone thinks I'm an extrovert. And when you're in real estate, you learn to talk to people. So I'm super nervous. I'm nervous in public. I'm nervous speaking. So I will just shove whatever I can in my mouth. I'll shove food and I love sugar. So I'll just I overeat, eat. So one of his tips was when you sit down at the table, just tell them right away to put half of it in a to-go bag. I was like, oh, okay, why? I didn't even think about, because we always sit down and we're like, we're only going to eat half on our plate. Or I'm not going to eat carbs. And then all of a sudden, that's all I'm wanting to eat. I'm like, dang it. Or even the example in here, I highlighted it. It's page 16. It's just 1% better every day. It's not about how many days it is to come get your goal going. It's frequency. So it's not, how many days did you do sit-ups? It's just doing the sit-up. So, which I personally, I compete even with myself. I'm like, oh, I can't do 20 sit-ups. I've got to do 100. Well, then I tend to get frustrated because after day 2, I can't see a 6-pack. So I'm like, well, why am I doing this? And then I get ice cream because I'm so frustrated with myself, right? So this is just me. And then right there, I just put on a couple pounds or my belly just got bigger. But then right there, I stopped doing the sit-ups. So after day 2, I'm already not doing the sit-ups. I ate ice cream. So I just totally reversed. And
But it says that when you do that it's okay to miss a day, but just remember to pick it right back up.
but
right?
I don't. Yeah. And
I
then
used to, when I was going to the gym, that similar to what you just said, I always would go on 3 days a week. And even when I didn't feel like getting out of bed, I at least got out of bed and went in. And the trainer would say, well, what do you feel like doing? I go, just something easy today. And he says, at least you showed up. So
Yeah.
doing time. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that's what this says is it's not, habits are self-improvement. So it's not about how much, it's just doing. So page 19 was productivity, stress, knowledge, negativity, relationships, outrage. It was it's pretty cool. And then forgetting about your goals and focus on your systems. So all big things will come from the small beginnings. So the seed of every habit is just the tiny decision. So I'm not going to go drive to the gym. I just know I'm not, but I have weights at the house and they're just getting as dusty as if I know I'm not going to the gym. But if I just go and pick up a weight and just do 2 reps a day, that's just me getting in the habit now of lifting up the weights or doing a couple sit-ups. So it's just changing your mentality and just doing it, right? There was the sales one. Well, and it's still the mentality. So the hospital in the cafeteria, the same mentality. They have all the, when you're at the cash register, and if you go through the grocery store and you actually look at how the grocery stores are set up, you can see where they have all the junk food and the healthy food, right? So same thing, like instead of their marketing in the hospital, they actually changed into their eating habits. So instead of lecturing and telling people how to behave, they just changed where they had things. So at the checkout, they put water for sale instead of soda, or in the vending machines, they just changed what was in the vending machines. So people were still going to the vending machines because it's a quick, instant, right? So they just put in different products. It didn't change people's behavior. It just changed what they put into their bodies, which gave them a different outcome. So they were healthier. And then they just started becoming healthy. So some tips, it was, if you can't get any work done, go put your phone in another room for a couple hours and get work done. If you're constantly feeling like you're not enough, then start taking a look at what is making you feel that way. So if you're using social media as your friendship route, and you're looking to that for your motivation, then what accounts are you following? Is that triggering your jealousy or envy? Because there's actually some people, like, shut it down, take a break. You can have, if you're going to do that, you can actually have all of your real estate marketing uploaded and automatically going out for 30 days, or pay someone to do that for you. That way your real estate marketing is going out, but you personally are not getting on. So your business is marketing, but you as a person are not getting on, and you're not mentally being affected. Or just go through and just like clean out all the crap. I had over 3,000, 4,000 friends, I think, on my personal page. And because I was like just connecting with people, and then going through the listings lab, they're like, take a look at who your friends are, like why, and I'm down to like 1,700. There was no need. Oh yeah, I highlighted, how long does it take to build a new habit? People really should be asking, how many does it take to form a new habit? How many repetitions are required? So it's not, it's not like, well, like Emily changed, okay, how it's not, your body knows you got to take a shower every day, but what time are you getting up to take the shower? That's what you're changing. Or, okay, I'm going to do sit-ups every day. Doesn't mean I need to do 500. I'm just going to add sit-ups into my routine each day. So teaching my body, I'm just going to do sit-ups. So just changing your routine. And it might even be that you've got to change the people who you're hanging out with. So it's not like you picked up smoking thinking, oh, I'm going to get lung cancer in 5 years, right? That's my goal. We all know it's not a good habit, but you picked it up because you were hanging out with, or it's social, right? It's the aspects, because it always comes with something else. It's not It's not, and it's not a judgy thing. It's just what were you doing in that environment? And it's the fun thing. But usually people aren't thinking, or I love sugar, but I'm not thinking in the long run, oh, I want diabetes, hook me up, right? Like you're not, that's not what you're thinking. So, but it doesn't happen overnight also to break the bad habits. It's not going to happen overnight to get the good habits. So, let's see. I like that they say, make it easy to, make it easy on yourself. Like, I feel like we always set ourselves up to fail to, start the habits or to get our goals. This was one thing that, when I joined the listings lab and they did the energy audit on me, and my calendar and Jess and Dylan were like, you have to get a VA. And this is where, not that I have to, I should make that decision, a business decision, and the VA should be doing this to help me grow in my business. And it should, down the road, you should be making more money, right? But to make that step is scary, and to change how you're doing things and to give up control is also scary. But when I look at it, I'm like, well, I'm already doing that on the bliss side. Why am I not making those decisions and goals and doing that on my real estate side? That's like, I'm setting myself up to fail, and that doesn't even make sense. Like, why am I being stubborn? Why am I not doing what I should be doing? So, honestly, it took me 2 years to finally change things. I'm like, why? What? Like, what? I don't understand.
What if, Mara, what do you think enabled you to make the change? Was it just identifying? What was
Yeah,
that?
I think finally, like, I don't know, sometimes it's just a light bulb that clicks in you, I guess. And maybe it could be that you're so overwhelmed and you have to take a step back and go, or you're tired of just throwing money out and going, oh, I don't know. Maybe it's your breaking point. Everyone's different, right? Or you don't want to fail, right? I mean, you do need to fail to appreciate your successes. There's nothing wrong with failing or screwing up. We all screw up. We're human. I think what happens, and the problem is if you don't recognize your failure and you don't fix it. That's
Or fear it.
yeah.
Yeah, I've all along always heard you should have an admin because that frees you up. You'll make more money and everything. I've never done it because of I've always working full time,
Yeah.
as Wendy did. I never did a lot of transactions. I felt I needed it. But now that I've retired from that and want to do the real estate, but I want to play too. I want to travel and do
Yeah.
all this. So I'm like, the admin makes sense to me now. So that's my why,
Mhm.
so.
Well, and it may not be so much an admin, it's a TC to do the
Exactly.
paperwork.
Yeah, no, that's what I mean. Yeah, it's
Mhm.
easy. Yeah.
And then it could be, depending on where your business goes, it's implementing someone to help with buyers or listings, or it's a listing partner or a listing assistant, or, or it's, okay, I want help with leads, just setting appointments, or, this or that, or, so it's figuring out, there's no right thing. And I think that's where a lot of teams or people think, oh, well, you get this, you just automatically need to get this or this. And that's not, but
Yeah,
what,
do one thing at a time.
right. The listings lab does teach you that you have to have your processes and systems spelled out, or when you bring on these people, you're not prepared.
Yeah.
And you're a hot mess. So they try to get you ready so that when you do, you can just give them everything and you're good to go, because otherwise you aren't able to give them the proper training or the proper information to help your business out.
Yeah.
because it'll come quicker than you think. Like before you know it, you're super busy and you're like, wait, I need help. Like, and you kind of want to be steps ahead. So the thing I liked in here was the paper clip. Where was that guy at? I highlighted it.
Oh, yeah. See,
He-
for me, it would be glittery bouncy balls that you move to
Yeah,
your jar because it needs to
yeah.
be.
He was page 195, chapter 16. And he was in Canada 1993. So he got up each morning, he had 2 jars on his desk.
Yeah,
One was
yeah.
filled with 120 paper clips and the other one was empty. So he sat down and every day he'd make sales calls and immediately he'd move one paper clip over to the empty jar. He'd drop a paper clip in after he'd make a call. He'd just keep dialing his phone until he'd move. And with 18 months, he'd bring in $5 million to the company. So by age 24, it doesn't say when he started. He was making $75,000. So right now it'd be 125,000.
Well, they show the date of 1993 that he was 23 years old. So that, if you want to call that when he started, maybe.
Yeah, but he, within a year and a
Yeah.
half, he was making good money
Yeah.
because that was his journal. And it says journal, right? Which I'm horrible at, or do your tracking, whatever that is, a calendar, a spreadsheet, do your track your, you track your food, you track your exercise, you track your phone calls, track your whatever you're doing, track your money, you track your whatever that's what you need to do. So that was his was visual. So and he also had to physically move. It was like his reward. And Lisa's little glitter balls. She would be glitter ball. So, some people would probably be M&Ms or something, right? Like just move it over.
Hey, there's your chocolate reference.
Yeah. Yeah. So it just shows. And the next page was Ben Franklin. So at 20, Ben Franklin carried a small booklet everywhere. And he just would keep track, and his was quotes: lose no time, be always employed in something useful, and avoid trifling conversations. So Ben Franklin at 20 was like, pretty much don't waste your day. Think about who you're spending your day with. And there's a lot of people that say, don't gossip, just have your discussions, move on. I mean, obviously you got to have your friends, but your friends should be uplifting, right? They should be pushing you, not bringing you down. Those aren't friends. And at the end of the day, he'd journal and talk about his progress. And even Jerry Seinfeld, it's very interesting to hear this. He would write down and document. He'd write down his jokes. It didn't matter if they were good or bad. Just every day, if he was inspired, he was writing down what he thought was a joke. That was his habit. And depending on how far you guys read, I never knew how Jay Leno got into the business.
I didn't have those examples in my summary, unfortunately.
Yeah, you'll like it in here. I'm always interested on how, I guess you always think of they're just automatically successful, and clearly he wasn't. I'm trying to find it in here. He worked at Disney as a really young boy for 50 cents an hour. It wasn't even about jokes or anything. It's somewhere around that.
So he wasn't always a comedian.
No. And I know this is off the book topic, but a really good Kendra Scott is a really good business owner. How this was built, I believe. I'm pulling it up, sorry. So NPR has a podcast, How This Was Built, and they interview business owners, and it's actually a really interesting podcast. So I'll typically listen to this like on a road trip or something. So if you can find Kendra Scott in here, and a lot of leaders will listen to her because how she runs her business now and appreciates her employees and her customers, it's very fascinating. But how she actually got it into the jewelry business was super cool, because she originally wanted to sell hats, and like Kentucky Derby type hats, and it was a bust. It was a horrible idea. And everyone kept telling her, what are you doing? What are you doing? And her side hustle was the jewelry. And she failed. And a lot of good business owners fail. Their ideas fail, but they never stop. And another one to listen to is the Lush. They were a bunch of scientists that created the bath bombs in their homes, and they just kept experimenting. So there's a lot of other people, and the idea is it usually takes them 10 years or more, and people keep telling them no, and their friends keep saying, what are you doing? And some people walk away from high-end paying jobs, but they stick with their passion, and they never give up. And another one I really love is how Canva got started. And that was actually for yearbooks. And it was a female, and I think she was out of Australia. She was like 19 or something, or younger, 18. And she didn't know it was going to turn into this amazing software. So it's just inspiring, because I think as realtors, no matter how we're doing our leads or prospecting, because we prospect all day long, you hear no, or in your head, you think you're going to hear no. So because of that, you don't even start prospecting. So you're never going to build your business up. And so I try to find podcasts that sometimes have nothing to do with real estate, but they're still inspiring entrepreneurs, because that's what realtors are, is this is your business. So to hear other business owners succeed, or also change how they're doing things, is also inspiring, because you can somehow turn it into what you're doing. And it can give you ideas. Oh, I want to try doing it that way. Or maybe I'm going to try doing it this way. Just because other people are doing things this way doesn't mean you have to do it that way. So reading the books, listening to the podcast, it just should give you different ideas on how to do things like, prospecting and networking. It's, if you're comfortable just starting on Zoom, there's networking groups or meeting people, wine groups on Meetup, you know what I mean? So if that's what you want to do it, there's all kinds of, you can meet people around the world that way. And let me tell you, there's probably a ton of investors you can meet that way too. I've had clients in Norway and Spain and Canada, and you might meet international realtors that will refer to you. So you got to start thinking out of the box. But Kendra Scott's a really amazing person too, and she's inspiring. And a lot of them start from the garage, and it's funny. Even you listen to Apple and from Steve Jobs and all these guys, the computer, like they're all legit in their garage or basement, so I don't know. It's
Inspiring.
It is. I love the podcasts, and then I go and look up these companies. So there's this couple, they were attorneys, and they stayed in this hotel, and they just did not like the sheets, and they actually started researching, and they created their own bed sheet or sheets company. And they just started figuring out how to wear and how to get these nice fiber sheets. And I'm like, why,
Yeah.
and they just did not like what they were doing, and they felt driven to get affordable, nice quality sheets. And same thing with strollers. Like you look up, I don't know, it's just crazy, all these products and companies out there, and you can hear how like Jeff Blue started, and it's fun. They interview so many different companies I'd never even heard of, but it's fun to hear the ones that you're like, oh, I've heard of that. I want to hear how it started, or, and you're like, oh, that's so crazy, but I don't know, that kind of stuff motivates me too. So maybe it will, you guys, because it's not always about selling. Sometimes it's just hearing that one thing that'll make it click for you. I don't know, but
my takeaway from the badass book and the habits is pretty cool. He touched on the habits, but he touched on a lot of really neat things that sparked me. But my takeaway is just take action. If you just start that ball rolling, even if it's not ultimately the right action, you're still heading in the right path, and after the badass book, I'm like, the more scared I am to do something, the more I want to do it. I want to jump in and do it and just plow through that and come out the other side. Because I really think that's what it takes to keep going and to get where you want to go eventually.
oh, it
The
does.
21-day challenge kind of also leads into the habit forming too, in a way. Kind of leads into what she got out of the badass as well.
What's the 21-day challenge?
That was the first book that we read.
Oh, okay.
Second,
It
yeah.
actually has you like not do 3 different things for 21 days.
Yeah. You have to give something up.
Yeah.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. I usually if it's scaring you, that's probably telling you it's something that you need to do.
Right.
That's kind of what I'm finding.
Me too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Like, or if I'm being cheap.
And that's what we got out of the badass.
Well, and that's the other thing too. Like, okay, I mean, I know this is being recorded, but this is a great example. I'm like, okay, my daughter called me, she had a rough day. So I went and met her Saturday and we went to Sephora. She wanted to buy certain things. I did not need a single thing. Okay. I don't go to Sephora. I don't buy certain makeup. Like half the time I won't even wear makeup. I walked out of there paying over close to $400 on stuff I didn't even need. What? That's a lot of money. I didn't even like, it didn't even faze me to give them my credit card. But yet I am like beat down with my coaches on, I'm not paying this, I'm not paying that, I'm not doing this. I'm not going to go pay for a photographer or videographer. I'm not paying this. I'm not going to pay for a virtual assistant. I'm not, blah, blah, blah. And I'm thinking, okay, really? I just walked out of a makeup store that I never go in and paid for crap. It makes no sense.
Sometimes you just go to Sephora and Sephora tells you what you need.
Right.
Right.
The
like
lady
Target.
with the rainbow hair told me I needed all this stuff. Yes.
You can't argue with that.
Nope. She made me feel good. Yeah. I have no problem spending X amount of money on paddle boards and gear. But yeah, I will fight tooth and nail on my coaching and marketing. Because that's what pays the bills, mind you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Makes no sense to me. And I know I'm not the only one that does that. So, I mean, I openly admit it, huh?
You using the stuff, or is it under the bathroom counter and you didn't even use any of it yet?
I just used it today. I think I was so like, it sat on my counter all weekend after I bought it, and I just tried it all today.
Well, you look great.
Oh, thanks.
Skin's glowing.
But when you first signed that, I was like, wow, her makeup looks really good.
Yep. I was like, okay, well, I might as well just use it since I just bought it all. Lady Gaga and all her lipstick, because I keep seeing her all over Instagram. But yeah, so, but again, like I have no problem, like, oh, I need new paddleboard, I need this, I need that, and I need, but I will hem-haw over, new photos or new website or an assistant to help me call on the leads that I'm just spending money on or whatever. So yeah. So it's just the mind shifts or changing my habits up. They're like, Mara, you need to really focus on making these calls. And I'm like, I don't want to. Like I was talking with Courtney, our coach. I said, you know what? I've been playing with Lissa's marketing for 3 hours instead of me making my sales calls. And she was laughing. And I go, this is me being stubborn, just like our agents. I would rather do other things than me do my work. Yeah. But what book do you guys, I have some ideas, but I want to hear what books do you guys want to read next for July?
Do you want to consider going 2 months for the next book so people can catch up with the books that they're currently reading?
No.
No? Okay. The thought.
Come on, Carol, catch up. Make it a habit.
I'm not the only one.
Yeah.
No.
If
The tip
it
is to
was
look
just
at the
me, I wouldn't
summary.
have said anything.
No.
Oh,
Wendy will
I-
catch up. She's retired now.
yeah.
Yeah. And Emily, like everyone's reading, and the ones that are not, we have agents onboarding that are just getting started. So let's see. Okay, I found one. It's called Objective Secure. And it's an active duty Green Beret from the United States Army. He lost one of his legs, and it's overcoming objective. That one,
Interesting.
yeah. I found the one-page marketing plan. Get new customers, make more money, stand out from the crowd.
That sounds familiar.
Groundbreaking, how to get new customers, clients, the big, why big business style marketing could kill your business, how to close sales without being pushy, needy, or obnoxious while turning the tables, having prospects begging you to take their money. Another one is exactly what to say to close the deal, exactly what to say to win more listings, exactly what to say to find new leads, exactly what to say to increase your income. And then sell 100 homes a year, how we use engagement, marketing, technology, and lead gen to sell 100 homes every year. Whether you've been in real estate for 18 days or 18 years, if you haven't achieved the success you really want, you need this book. Krista Mashore says, I've been in the top 1% of all realtors nationally. What's the secret? Doing things differently than you've ever been taught. $1 million followers, how I built a massive social following in 30 days. The other one is fanatical prospecting, which I think I have and I've never read it. YouTube for real estate agents, learn how to get free. I always struggle when I hear free. Nothing's for free. Learn how to get free real estate leads and never cold call again. Cold calling sucks. Door knocking sucks. I don't, but some agents actually enjoy that. We have quite a few agents that door knock and get listings. So,
Wow.
yeah, those both.
So
Gap
far, I like-
selling.
Oh,
Huh?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Gap selling, getting the customer to yes. Selling increases sales by changing everything you know about relationships, overcoming objections, closing, and price. And then I found another one. It's called Unleash the Power of Storytelling. When hearts change minds, get results. I've got more. How highly effective people speak. The 10X rule. And simply said, communication better at work and beyond.
the 10X is the one that Courtney wants. us to
Yeah.
do. I was gonna read that.
Not many people have read the Sell 100 Homes a Year, but hers is rated pretty high.
I bought that one.
I'd be down.
And same with Exactly What to Say.
We don't want to say exactly like the scripts anyway, but at least it'll give us a good guideline.
So Exactly What to Say is by Jones. 1,500 people have read that one. Master of Influence and Persuasion. Reviews, let's see what the reviews say.
What do Emily and Wendy think on what kind
Yeah,
of
you guys
what
are
book?
quiet.
I'd be down to do the Sell 100 Homes.
Yeah,
Oh, the 100, okay.
me too. I like that.
Krista Mashore, she's in addition to ideas and inspiration, this book will give you step-by-step instructions and show you how to close over 90% of your listing presentations before you even walk in the door. Not sure about that.
Okay.
Generate legitimate leads while you sleep. Use the secrets of Fortune 500 companies to build an active and loyal client base. Use engagement marketing to gain your community's respect and become the go-to community market leader in your area, which that we should all want that. Close over 100 leads per year. So if that's the case, if your guys' goal is to close that, you've got to have your systems and everything in place, because I've done over 60, and that's 60 a month or 6 a month to 10 a month. That's a lot of turnover. And I did not have a TC even during that. So you have to be, your systems and processes have to be in place. Through the listings lab, they have all the systems like your guides. So to really ramp up and to be successful, you have to know your team. So that's where they have, your calendar. When you start to get, you're not going to read a book and go, okay, all of a sudden I'm closing 100 deals, right? But as you start to actually get going and you're working, so as you start to ramp up, obviously your goal, if you're doing one open house a month, you're out and your marketing started to ramp up, and maybe you're doing some social media ads or you're doing some of the internet leads. And then in the next month or two, now that you've tackled that, now you're going to start ramping it up. Now you're going to do 2 open houses a month. Now you're going to increase some of your ads. You're going to do Sync or Opcity. Now you're increasing that slowly. So now you're like, okay, but even though as you're out showing houses, taking listing appointments, you have to keep all the marketing going. And that's where a lot of agents fail. And then as you're showing the houses and listings and those get under contract, you still have to keep doing what you're doing to get that business. So even if you take on like a showing agent or somebody to help you, you still have to keep prospecting. Like that's what agents forget. So you still have to keep doing what you're doing to keep the business coming in and to keep closing transactions. Even if you're wanting to play Carol, you still have to somehow be in front of your database. So that's newsletters automatically going out. They need to see you on social media. So whether, if you know you're going on vacation, who's doing your posting? Are you doing it? Did you upload it to Facebook and set up the calendar for it to go out automatically while you're gone? Like, those are things you have to start thinking about. Or are you paying someone to do that for you so you don't have to worry about it? So then what's your outlay? And then do you have leads coming in? Are you buying leads? Where do you buy them? Are you partnering up with someone? So those are things you look at. So if you're not doing open houses, where is your lead source? Are you guys going to go tackle FSBOs? Are you going to tackle expireds? So what are you doing? You can't have one funnel of leads. You have to, it's like a tree. You have to have all these the branches going out. And then you have to track how many leads came in, how long did it take to close? And then that's your business plan. And each year, change it up. Did it work? Did it not? And then you keep increasing it. So it doesn't happen overnight unless you've got thousands and thousands of dollars you're going to throw at it, right? But again, if you were to start out and get like, if someone like, and Jess will even say it if you watch on our recordings, if I were to give you 50 listings today, great. But really, is that great? Like, could you honestly handle that? Probably not. You couldn't. So you have to look at, and that's why the listings lab actually talks to you about that. What are your processes? What are your systems? Before you get a listing or a buyer, while you're in transaction, and then after, what's your process after? So when you bring on people you work with, you bring on a transaction coordinator, you bring on a VA, whatever you're doing, do these people know how you work? What's your process? Like, I was pissed. It took me a year to go through my coaching because I would refuse to fill out all the stuff they wanted me to. And now I'm like, oh, I get it. Oh, I get it. Gotcha. So I'm probably one of the worst coaching clients, and they laugh at that. They're like, you're not. And I'm like, no, I know I am. So, but now it's like, oh, I get you, but there's a reason why. So yeah, you can read all these books, but yeah, once you start implementing it, but if you're going to do the real estate activities that brings you the business, how are you actually going to be able to take care of your clients and run a business like it should? Nike, all these companies, they're all on social media. All their businesses run on ads from social media and TV, but mainly social media. But they have processes in place and they have people in the right places to ensure their success. So same thing. This is your business, your company. So run it like it should be, All right. Okay, so we'll get that book. I'll send it out in the group so you guys can see what it looks like. Yeah.
All right.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I don't know how big it is, so hopefully we can read it. I've been reading these when I ride my exercise bike every day. It makes me ride my bike every day. So kind of a win-win. I'm reading the book
Yeah.
and I'm riding a bike. So yeah. All right, guys. We'll
All right.
reach out if you need anything. Have a great day.
All
All right,
right.
thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.